let's get after this back end. Why not? So we're going with another sneaky secrets segment. Sneaky. So here we go. What do we got?
These secrets have been provided with, again, one of our favorite marketing interns, someone that's a big fan of the podcast, John and Sarah, my father. I mean, we're wearing Cornell shirts, not because of you, but you're part of it.
Yeah, you definitely represent Cornell in some light. So congratulations on graduating. My sister also goes there too, so shout out to Rory as well. Anyways, what did John and Sarah have to say?
He had 3 things to say. I'll read the first one. Being self-aware of your average qualities.
Well, hold on, let's back up real quick.
Okay.
What was the premise of the things he was providing, the 3 things?
Yes. So the overall arching theme was embodying our average qualities and figuring out a way how to niche that down and express that in a very fundamental way to our marketing interns.
Yes, I agree. And expanding on that, more so creating a purpose behind the content we produce. We can talk about sleep. We can talk about, our average quality, but what does that actually mean? And how does that affect the Backpocket mantra?
And not only on the podcast are verbatim verbally talking about it, but actually our action behind it when we're not live on air, when we're not being recorded. This is the stuff behind the scenes that I think really need to be taken a step further. Mm-hmm. And should we read through them, or should we just
let's read through them, for sure.
I'll start off, like I mentioned before. Being self-aware of your average qualities will eventually allow you to turn the ordinary into extraordinary.
And I think that's the message, right? That's something that that's the connecting. That's how you get that listener to commit to your podcast. And that's the extraordinary for us, because if you get one avid listener, which is a committed marketing intern, he's going to be influenced by the things we say, and we do that through our average qualities, turning that ordinary stuff, that ordinary person, and giving them the ability, the influence to do the extraordinary. So I love that point. Second point, routinely acknowledging and recognizing your average qualities is fuel for your humility engine.
And I think when he speaks about that, we do a great job of recognizing how we've failed and where we need to improve. And only taking that even to another level and showing more motion and more action behind it, because really our average qualities come down to, we failed at this, we're going to try it this way, let's see if it works out.
Yeah.
That type of mentality. So the routine of that, the habitual mantra of that.
I also like the part where it's just humble. Like, there's never a bad time to be humble, and I think when we're humble, that's another way to connect with our listeners, because we're not putting ourselves above the listener. We're with the listener, battling through, going through the same struggles, hopefully, that other people have.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one is, the best version of yourself will never be revealed without embracing your average qualities every day.
Which is what I love. This is what the podcast has done to us. When I go to work, or just I do something, and I cook or something, I do something new, or just in my day-to-day life, my brain is locked into the thing I'm doing. But when I don't do it well, I'm like, boom, that's an average quality right there. I lock it in. I either say it on the podcast, I write it down, or I think, it's always on my mind, and I'm not going to stop thinking about it until I'm better the next time.
And another part of that is kind of where our position statement is being directed towards. We've really narrowed down to hitting home the market of people that our interviewees all have this inner sense of entrepreneurship, motivating, and influencing our audience. And they've done it themselves, and they realized early on, most of them, or the majority of them, if not all, have talked about how they failed at something, and they realized they needed to get better at it. They were average at it at that time, and then they improved on it, and that's how they became successful.
Yeah, and I think the content of our growth, if you are wanting to be a committed marketing intern, you can really track that growth because we've failed, because we've tried to make those failures into successes, or at least learn from those failures. So it's all kind of a big full circle. We love it. Great sneaky secret saying. I think that was our best one yet. Mm-hmm. Thank you, John and Sarah.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.